The sky above the small human colony darkened suddenly. Hundreds of alien ships hung in orbit, massive and menacing, their surfaces glinting like cold steel under the sun. Each ship was larger than the tallest building in the city below, bristling with glowing weapons, strange antennae, and energy shields that pulsed like living hearts. In the streets, humans looked up in terror. Children cried. Adults scrambled to gather supplies, to hide, to do anything to survive. Smoke from factories and homes curled into the sky, mixing with the growing shadow of the alien fleet. But amidst the chaos, one child stood silently on the highest hill near the center of the colony. His small figure was calm, almost motionless. Eyes wide, face pale, but steady, he stared at the alien ships without fear. There was something strange about him, something the aliens could not yet understand. In orbit, the alien commanders laughed. Their voices echoed through the fleet's communication network, reaching every ship like a song of arrogance.
Look
At them, one commander hissed. Tiny creatures scrambling like ants beneath us. Do they even understand what's coming? They are weak, another replied. Fragile. Their weapons are toys. Their defenses are nothing. The aliens activated their observation drones. Holographic images of the colony appeared on the bridge of each command ship. Streets, homes, humans running in panic. The aliens studied them with amusement. Every detail confirmed what they already thought. Humans were insignificant. Shall we crush them now? A young officer asked, excitement in his voice. The High Commander, a tall being with 4 glowing eyes, leaned forward. His voice was low, but carried through the fleet like thunder. Not yet. Let them feel their fear. Let them watch us. Their panic will amuse us before they die. Back on the ground, the humans were running. Citizens abandoned vehicles, carried their children, and looked for safety in underground shelters. The colony's defense system activated automatically. Turrets rose from hidden silos. Shielding fields flickered briefly, but even these small measures seemed hopeless against the alien armada above. Amidst the panic, the child moved slowly. Not running, not hiding, just walking, observing. He stopped near a small abandoned drone, a toy his father had once tinkered with. He picked it up, turning it in his hands. His face held no fear, only a quiet, thoughtful expression. From orbit, the aliens noticed him. For a moment, the laughter paused. Is that one of their leaders? One officer asked, confused. No, the commander said, shaking his head. It's just a child. Probably thinks this is a game. The child's eyes glimmered with something unusual, something sharp, something the aliens did not understand. They scanned him, expecting fear. Instead, they saw calm. They expected weakness. Instead, they saw focus. The command ships prepared their first attack. Energy cannons powered up, missiles locked onto the colony. In seconds, fire would rain down. The aliens were ready to erase the humans with ease. Yet the child remained in place, small and calm, holding the toy drone. His hands moved quickly, adjusting small knobs and dials. Sparks flew. Tiny lights blinked. The drone whirred to life and floated beside him. He watched it carefully as it scanned the area, hovering silently. The humans nearby barely noticed him. They were too busy running for their lives, trying to survive the inevitable storm of destruction. But the camera drones from the aliens recorded everything: the child, the colony, the fear. The aliens would have their entertainment. Look at them, one commander shouted. Even the small ones run. How amusing. Soon there will be nothing left. The energy shields on the alien ships glowed brighter. Weapons hummed. The first salvo of fire and destruction was about to strike the planet. But the child did not flinch. His eyes shifted from the sky to the ground, calculating, observing, planning. His tiny hands moved again. The drone beside him emitted a faint pulse, sending a blue glow across the hill. The aliens did not notice. They were too busy preparing the storm above. The air grew tense. Every human heartbeat echoed in the silence before the storm. The city held its breath. The alien fleet hung motionless for just a moment, their weapons ready, their commanders laughing, expecting victory. And then the child whispered softly, almost to himself, "Let's see what they can do." At that moment, the first alien energy beam was about to strike the colony, cutting through the sky like a lightning bolt. Panic surged through the human streets. People screamed. Machines groaned. Dust and smoke filled the air, but the child was ready. The audience is left on edge. What could one small human child possibly do against hundreds of massive alien ships? How could he stop the storm? The aliens prepared to attack, sure of their victory, unaware that the smallest figure in the valley below might be the greatest threat they have ever faced. The suspense builds. The answer is unknown. The dust from the alien fleet's arrival had not yet settled. Across the colony, humans scrambled for safety, ducking into shelters, carrying children, and hiding behind rubble. Machines rumbled, warning of the incoming attack. The energy shields activated, but even they seemed fragile under the weight of hundreds of massive alien ships above. Yet on the highest hill, the child remained calm. He crouched behind a small rock, inspecting the hovering drone in his hands. Unlike the humans running in panic, he moved slowly, deliberately, as if he had a plan the entire time. The drone was not a toy. Its metal surface was scratched and worn. But inside it held tiny circuits and sensors that the child had carefully modified over weeks. Blue lights pulsed softly as it hummed to life. With a gentle push, it floated upward, scanning the alien ships. The aliens, busy aligning their weapons and laughing at the humans below, did not notice the small glowing device. But the drone recorded everything: weapon placements, shield patterns, flight paths. It was the first step in the child's secret plan. "Nothing can stop them," one alien commander said over the fleet comes. "They are ants under the sky. Let's crush them." The child tilted his head, listening to the vibrations in the air. He understood things the aliens could not know. He watched the shimmer of their shields, the faint energy waves that surrounded the largest ships, and the timing of their weapons. Every detail mattered. He pressed a small button on the drone, and it zipped silently toward a group of Lorbit alien fighters. Tiny beams shot from the device, harmless on their own, but enough to interfere with the ship's guidance systems. One fighter wobbled in space, veering slightly off course. Another spun, its weapons misfiring. From orbit, alien commanders noticed the disruption. What is happening?" One shouted, claws gripping the console. "Our ship's malfunctioning." The High Commander narrowed his eyes. "Impossible. Only humans are below. Nothing down there can affect our fleet." But the child smiled faintly. He did not shout, he did not run. He simply adjusted another tiny dial on the drone, sending more pulses of energy that interfered with alien sensors. The invaders' confidence began to waver. Meanwhile, in the colony, the humans still ran. Most did not notice the child or the small drone. Their panic was overwhelming. Smoke and debris filled the streets. Dust whipped around overturned vehicles. Machines groaned and sparks flew. The aliens' first salvo was minutes away. The child's secret was simple, yet powerful. He had been studying the aliens for years, secretly tinkering with technology from old scraps and human inventions. His small drone could detect weaknesses in alien machinery and exploit them in ways the fleet had never seen. The air, as the drone sent pulses toward the largest battleship. Its engines flickered, its shields dimmed for a moment. The child's eyes shone with satisfaction. One small human device was causing disruption to the greatest fleet in the galaxy. In orbit, alien officers shouted and cursed. "Check the signals. Someone is interfering with our systems. Find the source." The fleet searched the colony below, scanning every street, every building, every human, yet they could not find the child. He was hidden in plain sight, moving slowly between rocks, controlling his drone with calm precision. The humans, who saw him, thought he was only a curious child, unaware of the danger. Only the audience knew the truth. He held the key to resisting the alien attack. The first salvo of alien fire was seconds away. Cannons charged, missiles aligned, beams hummed with deadly light. The colony braced for impact. Smoke filled the horizon. Sirens screamed, but the child did not panic. He pressed another button, and the drone sent a wave of energy upward. Briefly scrambling the targeting systems of the alien ships, the beams and missiles fired and missed. Some exploded harmlessly in the desert outside the colony. Others veered into space, harmless to the humans below. The alien fleet loomed above the colony, humming with deadly energy. Their massive ships cast shadows over the streets, turning the day into an artificial dusk. Soldiers in the colony's defense systems scrambled to activate shields and turrets, but even they knew it would barely slow the alien assault. The child stood atop the hill, calm as ever, eyes fixed on the fleet. His small hands moved swiftly over the drone's controls. Tiny pulses of energy flickered across its surface, invisible to the naked eye, but devastating to alien technology. Targeting systems offline. A young alien officer shouted in panic from the command ship. Our weapons, they won't fire correctly. The High Commander's 4 eyes glowed brighter, anger and disbelief etched into every line of his face. Find them now. Do not let this child interfere. Meanwhile, on the colony's ground, humans ran for cover. Smoke rose from the streets where alien scouts had landed, and the first energy blasts struck the edges of the settlement. Buildings shook, dust filled the air, and alarms blared. Fear was everywhere. The child did not move. He tilted the drone slightly and released a small beam toward the alien scouts. The beam, tiny and almost insignificant, disrupted their communication systems. The scouts faltered, their weapons misfiring.
Ow.
One stumbled into another, and both fell, sparks flying from damaged armor. The humans below watched in disbelief. Could one small child really be affecting the alien forces? Some thought it was luck, others feared magic, but none understood the truth. From orbit, alien generals barked orders. Concentrate fire on the colony, destroy everything. Missiles streaked toward the settlement. Beams of concentrated energy cut through the air. Dust, debris, and the sound of destruction filled the valley. Human soldiers and citizens alike screamed and ducked. The first strike was devastating, or at least it seemed so, but the child had prepared. He pressed another button on the drone. It released a wide pulse of energy, invisible but precise. The beams of alien fire suddenly misaligned. Missiles curved slightly off course, and targeting sensors malfunctioned. The first wave of destruction failed to hit critical structures. Some missiles exploded harmlessly in the desert outside the colony. Beams fizzled and sputtered into empty space. Aliens roared in confusion. Impossible, one officer shouted. Our weapons never miss. The High Commander slammed a claw on the console. They are just children, he roared. This cannot be. On the hill, the child watched the chaos with calm eyes. He adjusted the drone's position again, sending another pulse. A cluster of alien drones faltered midair, colliding and breaking apart in sparks. Others spun uncontrollably, crashing into the ground. Even the alien fleet in orbit began to falter. Sensors glitched, targeting systems failed. Missiles veered away from their marks. One massive ship had to abort its attack entirely as its guidance systems failed entirely. On the ground, humans cheered quietly, some whispering in astonishment. They had expected death, but somehow the impossible had happened. One small human, barely older than a child, was changing the battle. The alien soldiers scrambled. Their coordination, once perfect, began to collapse. One group of infantry tripped over their own machines, another misfired their weapons, and accidentally hit a companion. The High Commander's plans, flawless on paper, unraveled in real time. The child smiled faintly. His secret plan was working. One tiny device, his knowledge and calm precision had caused chaos in an entire alien army. But the battle was not over. Aliens would learn, adapt, and retaliate. The child's first strike had been a warning, not the end. From orbit, the alien generals glared down. They are stronger than we thought, one hissed.
How can
such a small species resist us? The High Commander's voice was cold, filled with fury. Find the source. I don't care if it's a child. Find it and destroy it. The child adjusted his drone once more. It hovered silently, scanning the fleet, recording every detail. He was ready for the next move. The aliens were dangerous. Yes, but predictable. And the child had studied them longer than anyone could imagine. On the ground, humans watched as alien soldiers stumbled and fell. As machines malfunctioned, and as the first strike turned into a failure, whispers spread. Among the adults, that child. Could it really be saving us? In the shadows, the ambassador smiled. He had guided the child for years, teaching him what few adults could understand. Now, the plan was working. The child was not just clever, he was extraordinary. And the aliens had no idea what was coming next. The first strike was over. The alien army had failed. The humans were alive. The child had proven that even the smallest human could challenge the greatest force in the galaxy. The audience is left with one burning question. What will the child do next? Can one small human continue to resist an entire alien fleet? The suspense builds as the battle continues and the galaxy watches in awe. The alien fleet floated above. The human colony, once confident and full of arrogance, but now uncertainty spread through their ranks. Their ships, once precise and unstoppable, faltered under the child's clever interference. Missiles misfired, energy beams went off course, and drones collided in midair. Confusion rippled from ship to ship. Report. The High Commander barked, his four glowing eyes scanning the fleet. What is happening? How can a single human child cause this chaos, sir? The targeting systems are disrupted, a young officer replied, voice trembling. Every attempt to strike the colony is failing. It's impossible. The High Commander slammed a claw against the console. Sparks flew. Possible. Do you see what is happening below? Our weapons, our finest machines, failing because of a child. Meanwhile, on the ground, the child crouched behind a rock, calm as ever. The drone hovered silently beside him, scanning the alien fleet and sending pulses of energy that caused malfunctions across their systems. Every move he made was precise, measured, and unerring. He had learned to anticipate the aliens' actions, using their strength against them. A group of alien infantry landed near the colony, thinking they could destroy the humans quickly. They marched confidently toward the settlement, weapons raised, but the child was ready. He tapped the drone lightly, sending a sharp pulse toward the advancing soldiers. Their suits sparked and malfunctioned. Weapons jammed. Communication devices. Glitched confusion spread through their ranks as they stumbled and collided with each other. The human settlers watched in awe, disbelief painted on their faces. Impossible, one alien shouted. How can they resist? The High Commander glared at the screens, eyes narrowing. Focus on the child, he ordered. Find the source. Nothing else matters. That human is the key. But the fleet could not locate the child. Every scan failed. He moved like a shadow, small and quick, always one step ahead. Every pulse from the drone created more panic, more chaos, more fear. The alien soldiers began to panic. Their confidence shattered. Some tried to retreat. Others argued with each other, unsure what to do. Their perfectly coordinated assault had turned into disorder, and the humans below watched silently, realizing that one small human had turned the tide of the battle. The colony's adults whispered among themselves, "Do you see that child? He's stopping them. Impossible." How can one human, another said, but stopped? The child's calm presence inspired awe, fear, and hope all at once. Above them, the alien fleet grew frantic. Missile launchers fired blindly, energy beams misaligned, drones spun out of control. The High Commander barked more orders, but chaos had already spread through his army. Panic was contagious. Even the strongest alien ships faltered. Their weapon systems failed repeatedly. Shields flickered. Energy surges overloaded circuits. What was supposed to be an easy victory had turned into a nightmare. The child did not celebrate. He adjusted the drone again, sending a controlled, pulsed toward the largest battleship. Its engines shuddered, its shields flickered, and its crew shouted in alarm. He had created fear in the heart of the enemy fleet without firing a single human weapon. In the shadows, the ambassador smiled quietly. He knew this child's mind was extraordinary, and he had prepared for this moment. "They do not understand. Humans," he whispered. "They never will." The alien high commander slammed a claw on the console again. Sparks flew, screens cracked, but still the child remained unseen, untouchable. "Find him. I do not care what it takes," he roared. On the ground, human soldiers cautiously emerged from cover, inspired by the child's actions. They began to coordinate small defensive strikes, adding to the confusion of the alien forces. Even the smallest human efforts now had a larger impact, because the alien army was already panicked. The alien fleet had never been so frustrated. Their ships, once perfect machines of destruction, now faltered under the child's clever attacks. Officers shouted, claws slammed consoles, and entire squadrons collided in chaos. Panic had spread. Like wildfire, find the source. The high commander roared, his four glowing eyes burning with fury. "I do not care if it is a child. We will destroy it." But the child was ready. He crouched behind the hill, his small hands moving swiftly over the drone's controls. Each pulse of energy caused malfunctions in the alien fleet, one after another. Ships spun out of control, beams misfired, and drones crashed in flames. The aliens had underestimated humans, and now they were paying the price. From orbit, the alien commanders grew desperate. They called in their champion, a massive war machine, a towering creature fused with advanced technology, designed to crush any human resistance. Its armor glowed with energy, and its weapons were deadly. The fleet hoped that this champion could finally finish what the child had begun to ruin. The humans below froze as the champion landed. Its heavy footsteps shook the ground, dust rising in thick clouds. Its eyes glowed red, scanning for targets. Soldiers trembled as it raised its massive weapons, preparing to fire. But the child did not panic. He studied the champion carefully, noting every movement, every pattern. He whispered to himself, "It's strong, but predictable." The drone hovered closer, analyzing the champion's systems. Tiny pulses of energy disrupted its sensors, causing minor glitches. The champion roared and fired a massive energy beam, intending to destroy the hill where the child was hiding. The child ducked, pressing buttons on the drone. The beam misaligned, striking a nearby rock and sending debris flying. The champion stumbled slightly, confused. The humans watched in awe as the child's tiny device caused the massive machine to falter. The alien officers shouted in frustration. "It is just a child. A child is controlling the battle." The high commander's voice thundered across the fleet. "Destroy it. I don't care how. Find that human and end this." The child's eyes scanned the battlefield. He saw the weaknesses in the champion's armor, the timing of its attacks, the slight delay in its weapons. Calmly, he adjusted the drone again, sending another pulse. Sparks flew across the champion's circuits. Its massive fists faltered. Its weapons misfired again. The humans below began to cheer quietly, inspired by the child's courage and intelligence. They were not just surviving, they were witnessing the impossible. One small human challenging the mightiest weapon of an alien army. The champion roared, again, stomping toward the hill. Dust and rocks scattered under its weight, but the child had already planned this. He triggered the drone to send a concentrated pulse directly at the champion's core systems. The energy disrupted its balance. The champion stumbled, tripped, and crashed heavily onto the ground. The earth shook, clouds of dust rising like a storm. The alien fleet froze. Their champion, thought invincible, had fallen because of a single child. Confusion and fear spread among the officers. Their strongest weapon had failed. The child did not celebrate. He remained calm, observing the alien reactions, adjusting the drone as needed. Another wave of energy caused smaller ships to misfire. The alien's confidence, once unbreakable, was shattered completely. The high commander bellowed in fury, "No, this cannot happen. We are the greatest army in the galaxy. As he shouted, he realized the truth. The humans were clever. The child was not ordinary. Every calculation, every move, every pulse of energy from the drone had outsmarted them. The aliens had been defeated not by force, but by intelligence. The ambassador, watching from a hidden location, nodded quietly. They'd never understood humans, he said softly. And they never will. On the ground, the humans rallied. They moved carefully, coordinating their small defenses, following the child's lead. The alien infantry was confused, disorganized, and retreating. Their champion was down. Their machines were failing. The colony had survived the first real attack. From orbit, the alien fleet began to withdraw. The High Commander hissed through clenched teeth. "This is not over," he promised. "We will return. And next time, they will not escape." But the child did not fear. He watched as the alien ships retreated, the champion still smoking and damaged on the ground. His small hands rested on the drone, calm and steady. One human had faced the greatest alien force in the galaxy and had survived. The humans below slowly emerged from their shelters. They looked at the child in awe, whispering among themselves, "He saved us, all of us." The ambassador approached, placing a hand gently on the child's shoulder. "You did it," he said softly. "You showed them who humans really are." The child looked up at the sky, at the retreating alien fleet. His calm eyes glimmered with determination. "This is just the beginning," he whispered. The audience is left on edge, heart pounding. Could one child really change the fate of an entire galaxy? The aliens had been defeated, but the war was far from over, and the legend of the human child had only begun. The alien fleet was in full retreat. Ships that had once filled the sky with menace now disappeared into the distance, engines glowing faintly as they fled. The once confident commanders barked orders in frustration, but their voices carried no power now. Their greatest champion had been defeated, their machines had faltered, and one small human child had turned their victory into disaster. On the ground, the human colony was still trembling from the shock of the battle. Buildings were damaged, streets were dusty and filled with debris, but the people were alive. Slowly, cautiously, they emerged from shelters. Eyes widened in disbelief, whispering rippled through the survivors. The child did this? The child stood atop the hill, small figure calm and steady. The drone hovered silently beside him, its lights blinking softly. He surveyed the battlefield. The alien champion sprawled on the ground, smaller alien drones smoking from damage, the remnants of the alien army retreating into the sky. The humans below began to cheer, though quietly at first. Then, as realization spread, the cheers grew louder, a wave of awe and relief washing over the colony. One by one, adults and children ran toward the hill, gathering around the child who had saved them all. The ambassador approached, walking carefully through the cheering crowd. He reached the child and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "You did it," he said softly. "You showed them the strength of humans." The child looked up at the sky, eyes glimmering. "They underestimated us," he said simply. Always do. News of the child's victory spread quickly. Drones and satellites recorded everything. The alien fleet's retreat was broadcast across communications channels. Across the galaxy, species who had once laughed at humans now paused, reconsidering what they had thought they knew. One small human had changed the perception of an entire species. Even the alien High Commander, far away in orbit, seethed in disbelief. How? How could one human? He whispered to himself. Sparks flew from his control panel as he tried to comprehend the impossible. His arrogance had been shattered. The humans were clever, intelligent, and cunning far more than he had ever imagined. Back on the colony, the humans celebrated cautiously. The child remained calm, letting the crowd cheer without moving. His focus never left the horizon. He knew this victory was only the beginning. One battle had been won, but the galaxy was vast, and threats would return. Yet humanity had proven something undeniable. Even the smallest human, armed with courage and intelligence, could face the greatest enemy and survive. The ambassador smiled at the child. "Do you realize what you have done?" he asked. "The galaxy will remember this day. You have changed everything." The child nodded quietly. "I just did what I had to," he said. "They thought we were weak. They thought we were small. But we are human, and we never give up." The humans began to clear the debris, helping one another rebuild. Children ran through the streets, laughing, and adults shared stories of courage. But all eyes kept returning to the child on the hill, the one who had stopped an entire alien army. He was no longer just a child. He was a symbol of humanity's strength, intelligence, and resilience. As the sun set, the alien ships disappeared completely from the sky. Silence fell over the colony, but it was not the silence of fear, it was the calm after a storm of victory. Humans had survived, and they had learned that their smallest member could achieve the impossible. The audience is left with awe and suspense. One child had defeated the greatest alien force, but the galaxy was still vast. Other threats would come, other challenges would appear, but humanity now had a hero, and the story of the child's courage would inspire generations to come.